I'm going live in 5, 4, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to race number 8 of the Tyler Daniels Racing versus Nowski Nation Racing Series. We expect a lot of excitement tonight. Sorry we were a little bit late tonight. We've been having some growing pains. I know Anthony Hooker's put a lot of work into the camera angles and some of the information that us up here in the booth are going to have tonight. We do have a special guest with us, which we will announce later when we pay the bills. But what are you seeing out here right now, Anthony? A lot of cars out there making the grass a little shorter.
Yeah, they're definitely making it shorter. I think what's they're having a little issues as far as getting a little bit loose. I think braking points. This car has a whole lot of power to it, so I think they're trying to adjust to it a little bit. They'll all get adjusted. Oh, there's two Nowski guys taking each other out, which that's not a good thing you want to do to here. But the main thing is going to be driving your own race tonight and make sure you hit your own marks.
Yeah, well, with practice, too, you want to push the limits, kind of see where you're going to be. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be about the fast laps. It's going to be the most laps where you get to actually stay on the pavement. A lot of guys are going to catch a little bit of grass, get off track, and they're going to lose a ton of positions. In this team versus team event where we score 15 drivers versus 15 drivers, it's all about how good your buddies do. So at the end of the day, you don't want to race your buddies, and you really don't want to race your enemy either, because you don't want to be the one taking that spin through the grass, costing your team points.
Exactly, and you really don't want to, like I said, you've got to race your own race. Don't race your teammates hard. Don't race everybody else hard. You got to try, if you race your race at the end of the day, you're going to come out where you want to. If you don't race the way you're used to racing, and how do I want to explain that is drive your line. If you try to drive for somebody else's line, you're going to be in the grass, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the definition of position through attrition. How about that for alliteration?
There you go.
So as I'm watching the live leaderboard off here, I see the off-track light just blinking on so many cars that are out there. You know, these guys, again, pushing the limits, kind of testing it, but I think we're going to see that all race long. And a few key spots on this track to watch are going to be turn 1, big bend. Got to get that braking point right, or you're going to be going too far. Hit that braking point too soon, and you're not going to have the speed to carry through that corner, and you risk the misfortune of being passed right there. And then coming uphill, when you go uphill over that little bump coming out of turn 5, it's tricky. If you're a little bit to the left of the track, you might end up in that wall, because these cars will pull hard to the left when they catch a little bit of air.
Yeah, they will do that too, but they're so much on rails that when they want to go, if you're easy on the throttle, will corner like a dream, though.
I agree. A very well-behaved car. The track's not overly complicated, but there are some parts here where these drivers do want to pay attention, be very careful, and again, position through attrition. Run your race, hit your marks, make sure that you're going to finish this race, because the more guys that stay off the grass are going to be the ones that pull this off tonight.
And I think we got a pretty big points battle going on too. I just brought that up on the screen. Tyler Daniels has got a 3,507 points, and Nowski Nation has 3,392 after 7 races.
Yeah, Tyler Daniels Racing has really showed up this season. I know the first series, Nowski won, and they won in the last race. It was a very tight points battle. They really showed up and just spanked TDR in their final race. I think there's a sour taste in TDR's mouth. They want to bring that belt back home to Andy so the team captain can wear it. And they're off to a good start, but we got a couple races left in the series. We'll see how this one plays out. We got a lot of oval drivers out there who aren't used to turning right.
Right. Well, I think one of the things we got to do, Tom, we got to pay some bills here so we can get talking and going here, and then we can introduce our special guest. Oh, look at that! Somebody just went out of the map. But we're going to start off with B&B Wraps.
Yeah, B&B Wraps, based in Pennsylvania. These guys do iRacing wraps. They've done some paints for some team members. They actually created the custom logo that I run on some of my cars. We've hired them. Back Charities has sponsored a race car. They did the vinyls for us. Very affordable prices, very timely shipping. From coffee cups to semi-trucks. If you need it wrapped, these guys can get it done for you.
Our next one is going to be Mccann Setup Shops.
Mccann Setup Shop. Interesting enough, even though he's not in the booth, we do have another special guest to announce. Jeff Mccann will be racing tonight on Team TR. So big shout out to Jeff. You need no introduction. Huge participant in the iRacing community as well as the charitable giving community. Always does a great job by us, does a great job in the iRacing community. Thank you, Jeff, for all you do. Mccann Setup Shop, their setups, your victories.
Next is going to be Total Business Solutions.
Total Business Solutions NE. Sean Risley, one of the TDR members, is the owner of this business. He's the title sponsor of the TDR Veterans and First Responders Only League, and his business makes it easy. They provide services like payroll management, employee benefits, time and attendance, insurance, and merchant services. They provide the business services to help you focus on growth.
And our next and final one is going to be Sunny South Raceway.
Well, the final one is the most exciting one. It's a track I've been to, had a great time down there in Grand Bay, Alabama, and our guest broadcaster this evening would actually be Lonnie Lee Mixon II, the track manager from here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you into the booth, Lonnie. Tell us a little bit about what we could expect to find on a given Saturday or Friday night down at Sunny South Raceway.
Well, good afternoon to Tommy and to Tony. Thank you very much for having me. I'm real excited to be part of the show. Thank you. Sunny South Raceway, we are located in South Alabama in Grand Bay, just south of Interstate 10. It's a quarter-mile high-banked asphalt racetrack. Our premier series are Legends and Bandoleros, and we have about a half a dozen champ carts that we race. We've started racing Mighty Mites, which is as young as 4, all the way up to grown-ups. I mean, there's people there that are well above retirement age that come out there in their senior champ carts, and we have different classes for different skill levels for different ages. We normally race on Saturday nights because we are the only high bank quarter-mile asphalt track within like 6 hours. So we normally get visitors that come to us from Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Charlotte. A lot of people come down from Atlanta. Atlanta Motor Speedway has a little quarter-mile, but it's a flat track right there on the front stretch. If you look real close when they race it at these what they call cookie cutter tracks, these 1.5 miles, there's usually a Legends car track on the front straightaway.
Always.
Yeah, and so there's people that come down from Charlotte, come down from Atlanta on a regular basis and run with us, and we're glad to have them, and it's just a blast. We normally run approximately every other Saturday night. We try not to race too much in July and August because being in South Alabama, it's really hot, it's really wet, and so we run the Legends cars down here. But we have to get all of our races in because INEX out of Charlotte, they start on this date and they finish on that date. So we have to get as many races as we can in there. But there again, we don't want to, get anybody suffering with heat stroke or heat exhaustion or anything like that. So we try not to run when it's too hot. But we're really happy to be involved in iRacing, especially with Tyler Daniels Racing and Back Motorsports. I think this is a real good fit. Tommy and Andy came down, brought some of the other TDR folks down this past year, and visited with really good time. Tommy, if I remember correctly, I know I was working, and you were down the front stretch and had some remote control races with some of the kids, some RC cars, didn't you?
Yeah, it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. We got with your underlings or superiors. I'm not sure what the roles are. I guess it's all family down there in Grand Bay.
Hey,
but they allowed us to do a little intermission show with Back Charities. We did some RC car racing with some kids we picked out of the audience. They got to keep the cars. The winner got to keep the RC cars. So it was a fun little event. And just real quick, according to Google, of course I have to Google you guys to remember what to say about the racetrack when I plug the racetrack. You guys are billed as the South's finest quarter-mile high-banked asphalt oval.
Well, and we like to think that we are, and we have other people come up and tell us that a lot. We have some very nice facilities. One of the things I'm personally proud of that a lot of racetracks don't have is we have air-conditioned bathrooms.
There you go.
I mean, that's a whole lot better than porta potties that are at some tracks. Not talking bad about anybody. You do what you can, but all of our pit facilities, it's all paved. We have a really nice, our concession stand just kicks out some great food. The whole staff and everyone, Debbie and Wayne O'Kresick that own the track have gone to great lengths to ensure that it is very family centric. I mean,
Yep.
we don't allow alcohol because racing is a passionate sport.
Yeah.
And sometimes, even without the addition of alcohol, tempers can flare. So we don't allow alcohol because there's lots of kids, and when we start racing at 6 o'clock at night and we go until 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night, we don't want to compromise anyone's safety or anything like that. So we don't allow alcohol because we're very focused on the family. So yeah, you're right. I'm going to do Christmas at Wayne and Debbie's. So, and I have the last few years. I mean, they're great people, and they fit right in with the Tyler Daniels values, which are
Absolutely.
inclusive and charitable and caring and exciting. And that's why Sunny South Raceway is so proud and happy to be involved with Back Charity and Tyler Daniels Racing, because we're already doing those things.
Yep.
And to be associated with an online racing series and a charity like Back Charities, then it's a perfect fit, and we're happy to be part of it. And thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, we appreciate you for having us earlier this year, and everything you said I can attest to. It is 100% the truth. One of the best tracks I've ever been to personally, and I grew up racing small tracks. I mean, had a blast there, felt like family. The food was good, the racing was good. It was just a great time all around. And we're getting into qualifying. So, Lonnie, welcome to the booth. I hope you enjoyed the longest plug you guys will get all year.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The year's almost over, and there's always 2022 to look to.
Well, if I do good enough, maybe I'll get hired on full time. Huh?
Always possibility, Lonnie. Always possibility.
Thanks, Tony.
Well, I'm sure you've been watching the times here, Anthony. They're starting to get some times dialed in here as we ride around with Jay Downham.
Yeah, we've been watching the times. Right now, we're Ryan Shelton's on the lead on the pole as of right now. Jeremy Edwards second, Kevin Mccann third, Adam Rickey fourth, and Dean Webb fifth. So it's a little mixture between TDR and Nowski Nation on the top five. That's going on right now. There's still guys that will be qualifying. I think there's 10 minutes of qualifying, so it'll be just a few minutes. Some guys, I know Nowski has waited a little bit longer to start qualifying than what the TDR boys did.
Yeah, I'm just noticing now, sitting there, P7, Matthew Hughes, Pujanowski himself, the name on the captain of his team over there, sitting just ahead of Jeff McConey. And that's got to feel a little good, having a quasi-iRacing celebrity sitting a couple seconds behind you there.
Right, that's always a fun thing to do. As long as there's certain people, you have those people, you think, oh, if I'm ahead of them, I'm having a good night. But now you got to remember, you got to make it to the end of the race now. Just because you qualified doesn't mean you're going to be right there.
Yeah, but see, PJ Cox just blinked in with an off track. That lap will not count.
I think we're going to bring up, I think I can bring it up here, see if it, yeah, there it is. We bring up our
Look at that.
Bring up our race info. And actually I got the Veterans League up there. I forgot to change it around for Nowski, so that's one little thing, but that's okay. But
we'll forgive you.
Yeah, we got Black Rock Park. It's 78 degrees out there today with a 2-mile-an-hour wind. So we'll have that up and going a little bit.
Yeah, looking really good. And if you can, if you get a chance to catch someone qualifying out here, I'd like to take a ride around this track. It's there's some very interesting points. We mentioned turn 1 and that little jump off of 5 in the pre-race coverage, which wasn't live, and we apologize for coming live a little late. Again, growing pains, right? We're building a bigger, better thing. You gotta deal with the struggles that come with that.
That's Chuck McDonald. He just went and turn 1 and turn 2, so he's coming around for his lap.
Can we get his in car?
Yes, we sure can.
So right now he should be right off the right-hander, coming up to no name straightaway, and he's going to take this right-hander right here, 4th gear, full throttle up the hill. Looks like he let off it a little bit, so if you're full send through there, you will catch some air with that front end. Almost looks like the car's doing a wheelie, and that can get some guys in trouble here later on. As he comes around, final corner before the straightaway here, Sam Posey straight. Full throttle, 5th gear will get you a little launch off that corner. If you're going fast, you want to be hitting about 150 at that start-finish line. Make sure you hit your braking points here, probably marker 2 or 3. And I guess that was his final lap.
That was his final lap.
Because we won't be riding around Big Bend with him. But Big Bend, that first turn, that first big sweeping right-hander, you got to brake hard. You're going from 150, 155 miles an hour down to 90. Second gear, ride it through third gear, coming up through the left-hander, and then into the right-hander. This gentleman is handling it well. Coming up no name straightaway. There's a little bit of crook right here to the left. As he comes around to the right, this is taking you into the uphill to the jump. So if we see full send, yeah, got a little bit of air there. And then he'll come down into West Bend. He'll ride the downhill into 7 here. And then again, when you're coming through here, you want to hit 5th gear halfway through this corner. It will launch that car down that Sam Posey straightaway. And that's really the key to getting around this track. And the key to winning tonight is who's going to do it best. So as a traditional paved oval racer, Lonnie, what do you think about what you see out here on this road course?
Well, I'll tell you this time, I am impressed with the technology that y'all have up here in the booth. I mean, I look around and I see 3 different monitors. I see information, I see data, I see video, and you can pick and choose how you're going to look at what car and what part of the car. It's just amazing. I am on a little quarter-mile asphalt track. I'm used to being up in race control, up in the tower, and I can see the entire racetrack. But here, you guys, you've got the software, you've got the programs, you can switch the cars, you can see the times, the gap from the leader all the way back to every single car, what the fast lap was, what the best lap was.
As we see some grass getting mowed here too.
This is a John Deere cam we're looking at right here.
Look at him go too.
That's David Tremblay.
He didn't even slow down. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna get it.
He ain't missing a blade.
Yeah, so this is just some fantastic stuff, and I know I'm really excited, and I know the rest of TDR is excited because Anthony is really gone out and got some really cool software. So to bring everybody the best product that we can as far as iRacing with Tyler Daniels Racing and back charities.
Absolutely. And Anthony, we don't want your head to get too big, but we appreciate you putting this extra effort to bring this software into us. And Lonnie, if you can get Debbie and Wayne to cut us a big enough check, we'll come help you bring this down there to Grand Bay.
Wouldn't that be cool? Well, see, then y'all would be just like the NASCAR boys at Fox. You know, you'd have to fly in every weekend and be staying at the Motel 6.
I feel like Larry Mack looking at all this data in front of me. I'm just missing a donut. If I had a donut or an ice cream, I'd be Larry Macking it up right here.
Yeah, man, this is good stuff. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this. And even if I can't be in the booth with you every week, at least you'll have somebody up here. Is that a gnome?
That is the gnome.
That is
Where
the gnome.
Is this gnome?
It's right in one of the corners.
I believe it's in Connecticut.
Okay.
Now,
Wow.
Lime Rock Park is actually in Lakeville, Connecticut. So if you do want to see that that gnome, it might be a bit of a drive for you. But there are some boys out there that can go by Lime Rock anytime. They have tons of races, just over 1.5 miles, and it's a landscape track. So they didn't do any terraforming. They didn't modify the landscape for this. They literally just paved the hills they had and said, "Go at it, boys."
That's impressive.
Yeah,
Are they lining up on the grid now?
They are. They're all gridded right now. Little tidbit about Lime Rock. I don't know if you guys knew this or not. This is the oldest running road course in America.
Yeah, built in 1956.
Yeah, and in
Wow,
2009,
it's older than me.
yeah, in 2009 they made a historical preservation society on Lime Rock.
Yep. Also, Skip Barber, I believe, is still the track owner, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously, he's a former race car driver who started the Skip Barber Racing School, but I believe he is still the track owner.
And Barber Motorsports Park is right here in Alabama.
So come on down to Grand Bay, Alabama.
Come on down. Are we getting ready? Are they going to have a parade lap, or are they just going to go? 3, 2, 1, go.
Parade lap.
Yeah, we get a parade lap. We are going to do a rolling start here. So Lonnie, I know you're not as familiar with road course racing. Traditionally, they would do a standing start with these, with this many cars, and their they're not the most experienced road racers. They will do a rolling start into that first turn. So we're going to get to watch everybody go by, give everybody out there at YouTube land a summary of where everybody's going to go ahead and start. So we've got
there's almost 30 cars.
Now, I think I can bring this up here, so let's I'm gonna try something.
Yeah, go ahead and give it a shot. If you
There
can't,
we
I'll
go.
do it with my mouth.
Let's see here. We're gonna.
I can't see that as well as you can.
I was trying to figure out how we've. Oh, I gotta go back up here.
Well, I can run through the field real quick. So sitting on P1 on the pole would be the 99 Ryan Shelton for Team TDR. We got Patrick Gitter for Nowski Nation and Jeremy Edwards going 2 and 3. We have Justin Swafford also with Team Pujanowski, Otto Cruz, Patrick Piper. Top 6 is 99% Pujanowski. We got one TDR guy sitting up front. Going back from 7th back, we got Kevin McCann, Adam Rickey, Dean Webb, Kevin Bernheimer, Lonnie Roberts, Andrew Bisnett, Matthew S. Hughes, Pujanowski himself, Jeffrey McConey, Charles Joplin rounding out the top 15. On back, Jeremy Gaiman, Jim Downham, Timothy Pope, Kenny Hyde Jr., Bryant DeYoung, PJ Cox, Rick Kohler, Blair Patterson, David Trumley, Andrew Shaner, Chuck McDonald, Jay Downham, Dustin Veldhusen, Jeffrey Sheldon, and it appears that Ryan Walter may have some sort of connection issue. I'm showing him 1 lap down currently, and we're not even 1 lap in, so I would expect that he had some kind of failure that'll put him out of this event.
Yep, we're getting ready to go green here too.
Yeah, this is an impressive field of good-looking cars out here. They're all lining them all up there. They're getting fender to bumper. Pace car's getting ready to leave. It looks like, huh?
Yeah, those Ferraris look really good. The body lines on that car, just a really good-looking car, and both teams did excellent jobs on those paint schemes.
Oh, must be they're gonna do 2. The lights are out on the pace cars. They're doing 2 laps, so the next lap they'll be going green.
Yeah, see a couple guys trying to swerve a little bit and get some heat into those tires on the Sam Posey straight. Tires here, I don't think tires will be a huge factor. These are pretty beefy tires. They should be able to endure the entire 45 minutes, but I do think fuel will be a concern in this race. I do expect 1 stop for fuel. Hopefully these guys will talk to their crews and will put in the appropriate amount, because you don't want to spend extra time in that pit lane getting fuel you don't necessarily need, and also adding weight to the car.
Yeah, and these cars are pretty light anyway. Getting back to the tire wear you mentioned, is that these cars are light, but they do have a lot of downforce. You know, and every time you turn right, you turn left, and that one turn coming up over the hill right there, that's going to take a little bit of wear on those tires. But like you said, I don't think tires are going to be the problem. I think it's going to be how much fuel can you pack in that fuel cell.
Yeah, and they discussed that. Both teams discussed that after their respective practice sessions. And while these setups, they're not going to be nearly as fast as a Mccann setup, of course. This setup is designed for endurance racing, so it is to conserve tires and conserve fuel. And after practice, they discovered tires probably won't be a concern, but they probably, more than likely, 99% chance they will need 1 stop. But a couple guys out there might pussyfoot around for a little bit and be able to save enough gallons to make it to the end.
And there's some guys that do that, you know, on our weekly races. You know, Tyler Daniels Racing, we have. Oh, we're going green. I'll get back.
Oh
to
yeah.
You in a minute.
Get back to me in a minute. I love it.
Let's see how turn 1 goes here, gentlemen.
Yeah, here they go. Coming around Big Bend. Looking like they're being fairly polite with each other. It's very early on. This is now a 45-minute timed event. There are no laps here. And it looks like everyone's made it through and kind of sorted out single file here as they should. Not a lot of passing zones here. I think the straightaway, we
got one
the
back
Posey
there.
straight. Yeah, I got 1 off track. Looks like that was up a blink past me before I could see it. Jeffrey
That's
McConey. Jeffrey McConey first off track, sorted all the way to the back for that. Jeffrey Sheldon as well off track. Now, Jeffrey McConey was a last-minute fill-in for Team TDR. He wasn't in any of these practices. I don't know what kind of experience he has at this car and track combination. I know he is a pretty good road racer, so hopefully he can battle back from that and find himself in a good position. We see a lot of action on the track, no big incidents, but I'm curious to see when these guys get to the jump, who's letting off enough to make it over who's far right enough to make it over. That jump is going to be something that's going to be the Widowmaker, in my opinion, coming up here. Patrick Piper. Tires staying on the ground for most of the cars. Saw one car, maybe 4 or 5 back there, that got a little bit of air, but I think everyone's going to be real calm, cool, collected here these first few laps, try to stay on track and not take it to the extreme.
Yeah, I know. Must be Brian DeYoung and Jeff Marconi are the ones that got in that accident together, because I see Brian DeYoung's in the pits with Jeff.
Yeah, I see that as well. And I'll tell you, running around this track position will be key. So few opportunities to pass here outside of that straightaway and that first turn into Big Bend. You know, you pretty much got to be where you're at. And in traditional road course racing, hit your marks, run your race, and I imagine a little later on we're probably going to see some passes that might be a little dicey as these guys do fight for that track position.
And you know, Jeff McConey was a late minute add to the team here, and it could be that, I mean, he builds setups, but I'm not sure how much input he had on this particular setup, so it might take him a few laps. I mean, it's a long race. It might take him a while to get in the groove with this setup he may not be familiar with.
Yeah, when you run a setup shop and you got a team of guys that build them for you, you might be a little bit spoiled with how you expect a car to perform on any given track. He probably hopped in this thing and was like, what is this pile of junk? Is this a Buick?
I do have to say, I am very surprised on how well all these drivers are handling this well. We only had the one little incident. Looked like there was 2 cars in it. Well, we just had one just go off right there.
Yeah.
But other than that, they've been handling it very well as far as having 30 cars on this track.
Well, again, back to my practice session, these cars are made out of candy glass. The slightest touch will crack a fender. And I think these guys recognize that, and that might be part of why they're being so nice to each other, because one little touch with these cars really does start to destroy that air, destroy that downforce, as we ride along with Jay Downham here recovering after an incident.
So Tommy, being an oval racer myself and not familiar with the road racing terminology, you've mentioned the candy glass a couple of times, and the cars that we run are made out of fiberglass. What is candy glass?
So, candy glass is actually carbon fiber. It's much stronger than fiberglass as a whole. So, when you apply a lot of pressure to it, it creates a lot more downforce. It doesn't flex as much, but it has a very fine line between working well and being completely shattered.
Oh, wow.
Right. So when the air pushes on it, it's pressing it to get a lot of downforce out of the car. It performs great. When you apply too much pressure, it wants to break, crack, and shatter. Just like candy glass.
It's really good until it's not.
Exactly. It's just like a Ford F-150.
Oh, easy? Come on now. We're looking for sponsors for this stuff.
And I'm a
Not
Ford guy,
Ford.
so thanks, Tommy, on that one.
You can keep that money, guys.
Tony, do something.
Shout out
Man,
to
what a great
shout out to
shot
my
right
Chevy
here.
guys. Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. As you see him get a good run, riding around with Dean Webb, and Dean Webb's a really fast cat. On paved oval, on road courses, this guy shows speed all the time. And fun side story outside of what's going on here on track, his wife allowed him 5 addresses for their annual Christmas cards. One of those Christmas cards went to Jim Downham, one of his opponents on the track.
Well, I know I've raced with Mr. Webb. I believe it was at Bristol, and he is a formidable opponent.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he knows how to wheel a car. He sure knows what he's doing. And of course, Jim is no slouch. Jim's a little bit back. He's in 20th right now. He's gained 2 positions here. You know, in the last, of course, he's back there with David Trumbley. It's a little further back, but here he comes. He just gained another position. Jim Downham now up to 19th.
Yeah, and I think David Trumbley, you mentioned his name, sitting there in the back. He's one to watch. He's one of those drivers that really paces himself, runs a good road course race. He has a lot of experience running road courses. I guarantee you, without much effort from him, he will be up in P13, P12 at any moment just based on other drivers making mistakes. David Trumbley is very focused. He's a little cautious early on, and we won't see him turn up the heat until he gets up front there. as we ride around the big bend with Trumbley, coming through the right-hander into the left-hander after this turn. Got a couple competitors chasing him down, but look how cool that hand is, how smooth that action is on that steering wheel.
Very smooth. And where that comes from, Tommy, I think is TDR, Tyler Daniels Racing, has got, how many is it? 11 different leagues with 11 different classes of cars. And I mean, for different experience levels, for different tastes, for different wants and desires, however you want to race in iRacing. And David Trumbley is a very engaged, very active iRacer. And if I'm not mistaken, doesn't he have a stream that he puts out?
He does, and you guys can find it Davey TEZ on Twitch and Facebook, and to make it more easy to find, it is Davey space the letter T space the letters E as in Edward, Z as in zebra. Davey TEZ. Entertaining guy to watch. He's very technical. He's not like Pudge Nowski. He's not big in your face. I'm fast, yada yada. He's real technical, kind of quiet, but he will tell you what he's doing. And just by watching his stream and how he drives, he will help you be a better driver. We got one car off in the grass there.
Yeah, that and Kevin Mccann, he had a little bit of an off there as well. Gets passed by Justin Swafford. So if we go back up front, I mean, we haven't talked about the leaders here. Patrick Gitter and Ryan Shelton. Didn't Ryan Shelton start on the pole?
Yes, he did. Patrick Gitter was the outside pole, yes.
There you go.
Sorted out, not too far behind, still hunting, but Patrick Gitter's another name that we say very often in the oval races. I mean, and it's hard to say who's fast because both teams bring a lot of names that we say very often. Patrick Gitter's definitely one of them.
Yeah,
to be up there with Shelton, whew.
Ryan just took the lead back away from him right there, guys. Sorry to interrupt there.
Yeah, a lot of action happening up front.
They're in that lap traffic now, and that's where they can go back and forth lap traffic because they're going to come up on cars. Depends on where they come up on them. In a corner, on a straightaway, it's going to all determine how they can get by them. Plus, your teammates are going to let you go by a lot better than your non-teammates will.
Yeah, very tricky here too. Again, not a lot of passing zones, so you have to rely on that lap traffic to be courteous and kind of let you by. And in the team element, ooh.
Yes, we can see right there, the 86 did not give Ryan any room.
Almost turned that carbon fiber into candy glass.
Still just under 36 minutes left in this race.
Yeah,
and,
plenty of time.
Oh, there was an off right there.
That was Chuck. That was Chuck McDonald that went off right there.
Yep, seeing a lot of off-track blinks here, getting notifications on the leaderboard.
People pushing these cars really hard.
Yeah, looking, David Trumbley now up 4-5 spots on any given pass. He's one of the bigger movers. Jeffrey Sheldon up 7 spots from the beginning. Adam Rickey up 3, Kevin Mccann up 4. You know, these are Blair Patterson up 6. It looks like TDR is marching towards the lead as some of the Nowski guys are either losing some speed or having some difficulty fighting with that lap traffic.
I think they're having a little difficulty, but what I've been watching in the telemetry here is they're getting off the turns right here in Big Bend. Like a lot of them have been coming out wide right here into the grass, and it's been slowing them up a lot, and they got to check up, and that's where we're getting them at.
Yeah, Big Bend's tricky. Big Bend coming into that first turn, it's all about your braking points. Everyone kind of knows their braking points, but it depends on your lap too. How fast you come off of that final corner into the straightaway determines your speed at the start-finish line. And you need to know your speed at the start-finish line to redetermine your braking point going into Big Bend. And if you're not paying attention to those, you're going to be off in the grass. You're going to be stopping short.
Yeah, because it doesn't take very much. There's a long straightaway there. And like you said, when you get to the start-finish line, you want to be around 150, so you're still accelerating for a little bit further till you get to that bridge right there. Then you're quickly on the brakes trying to get that car to rotate for that pretty sharp 90-degree turn going back to the right there. So it's a pretty technical application of racing skills here.
Yeah, and it's something you need to pay attention to. And I would say, being in the practice session, ooh.
That was our second place driver. That was Patrick Gitter that went off.
Patrick Gitter, yeah. Ooh. That's going to cost him 4 spots there on that lap. 5 spots now.
Yeah, he's down to 7th, 8th. Yeah, it cost him a lot. But he doesn't look like he had a lot of damage, so I think he can get going again without hurting himself too bad. He'll work his way back up there. I don't see any dents in it. I think he just spun.
Yeah, it's a shame to see someone running that fast up front having an incident that takes that much out of them. But we know he has the speed, and hopefully he'll be able to fight back to a good finishing position there. Looks like he's recovered to -6 on that lap.
And speaking of fast, Kevin Mccann has gained 5 positions up to 2nd place now behind Ryan Shelton in that number 99 car. So right now you got Ryan Shelton, Kevin Mccann, Patrick Piper, Adam. I never can get his name. Ricky?
It's Ricky.
Ricky. Okay. Thank you very much. then rounding out your top 5, that's the number 3 of Jeremy Edwards.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the booth. Have fun with it. If you're going to say the first thing, you might as well round out the top 5, buddy.
That's right.
Well, there's one gentleman that was racing in the race last night, or it was the night before. That
hard to keep track of them all.
It's all consonants. There's like no vowels in the guy's name. And as far as I know, Tommy, you're the only one that can pronounce it, and it starts with a G. And
yeah.
So good luck with that.
It's Kevin Guier, and it's French.
Yeah, be careful of your tongue. You'll pull a muscle.
Oh. Look at Blair Patterson out here, up 5 spots from the beginning, sitting there P16, looking really good, really smooth, not overworking the car. Ryan Shelton leading the way. I think he's been very dominant all night. I thought Patrick Gitter was going to be up there with him most of the evening. I hope he gets back up there because I want to see some good close racing up front. But he's actually walking away from Kevin Mccann, and everyone out there knows the Mccann brothers, Brian not present tonight, they're a force to be reckoned with, and Ryan Shelton's making quick work of everybody.
He is right now. I mean, he's got, we're, almost 14 minutes into this race, coming up on 31 minutes left. We're not necessarily counting laps, however, what is going to be important is the fuel that these cars have left. Now, Tommy, when you were in these cars the other night, did you get an idea of how many laps they'd be able to go on a full load of fuel?
So it really depends on pacing, and it is very close to make it or not make it. If you're running full bore out there, I mean, just hitting the jump, getting all 4 tires off the ground, killing it through the S's, you might need to pit. You're probably going to want to take maybe 3 to 5 gallons to be safe for the last few laps, and you'll be good to go. If you're back there where Pope is, Joplin, Patterson, kind of just outside the top 10, you might have enough to make it. Oh, see David Tremblay going around, and I just got done talking about Cool Hand Luke over here.
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, guys, but I've been showing you. It must be the tires are starting to wear out because everybody's starting to go off track.
That's what I've noticed too, Tony. Is there's been probably 8 or 10 cars that have had offs. When I raced SCCA racing, I raced in the Spec Miata series, and we would call it an off. If you left the tarmac. Oh, is somebody coming in the pits here?
That's Matt Hughes.
Bisnet.
Matthew Hughes, Pujanowski himself, and Andrew Bisnet alongside him.
Oh, it'll be interesting to see if he takes. Well, that was fuel only, wasn't it?
Yeah, fuel only.
I think he just did quick repair, to be honest with you.
That could be too. I mean, yeah, the tires here, I do believe it does take a little while to change tires. Fuel, even if you take a couple gallons, it's going to take several seconds just because these things don't have the same kind of quick fuel nozzle you would find on a traditional stock car. They're not expected to take fuel typically outside of endurance races.
Tony, okay, everything just went red on the data screen over here, and I was about to get worried. I thought everybody went a lap down.
No, the only person to lap down right now is our leader, and that is because, I don't know why, maybe the pace car is out there turning some laps that so fast we didn't see him.
Yeah.
Okay, I see from David Tremblay, who's 16th on back, is truly a lap down.
Yes. As the leaderboard cycles through, it actually has a delay. It tracks by the start-finish line. So as they come across the start-finish line, the leaderboard will allow us to see how they cycle through. But during the cycle, while it's live tracking, it's not the best live tracking. We don't have Larry Mack money up here.
Right,
Oh,
right.
there's Auto
Well,
Cruz.
something I'm noticing,
Oh
Auto
no,
Cruz. Oh, sorry.
little too much break coming into Big Ben there.
Yeah, Otto's having a little bit of struggle. He's a really good racer himself. He's been around a while. He's really familiar with these cars. I'm really surprised that he's struggling now. Back 14 places, he's gone backwards. He's now in 20th.
Yeah, looking at Blair Patterson, he's up 8 spots from the beginning, looking really good there. Obviously, the telemetry is showing us incorrect data as they cycle through some pit stops as we watch Andy Shaner pit. There's Blair now, and as they've cycled through their pit stops mostly, again, up 8 spots to P13. He's another streamer out there. If you guys want to check him out on Facebook, Blair Patterson, huge supporter of TDR, runs a bunch of events with us, does a lot of charity races. I found that Blair finds charity events even outside of the back charities and TDR community. He's always running some kind of charity event. And my favorite thing he does is Fire Suit Friday. He puts on a fire suit. He puts on a helmet. He has the little earbuds in there so he can talk to the people watching his stream. That has got to be the hottest thing on a Friday night, and I mean that literally.
Gentlemen, Kevin Mccann has crashed.
Oh no.
No.
Twice now because he tried to drive a broken car.
Yeah, so he's in the pits now.
Oh boy, is he getting towed?
Yep, he had to tow in. He couldn't go any further.
And that's one thing we did not test in practice. I can't imagine how long tow at a road course takes much longer than it does at an oval.
Well, hopefully in Connecticut they don't have any F-150s, huh, Tommy?
That's right. That's right. Candy glass.
Right, so now this takes up our top 5 just a little bit now. We've got Ryan Shelton still in the lead. We've got Patrick Piper in second. Adam Ricky's moved up 5 spots to third. Jeremy Edwards is fourth, and Patrick Gitter has moved back up to fifth. So he's coming back up again.
Good for Patrick
Dean Webb
Gitter.
up to 6th.
Yep, Dean Webb up to 6th. Kevin Bermheimer up there 2 spots to 8th now. We're seeing a Team Pujanowski kind of taking control back of that top 10 a little bit.
You know, somebody that we haven't mentioned the whole race, if you remember at the beginning of the race, the number 49 of Ryan Walter looked like he might have had some issues, but it appears he's on the track and running in 24th position, 2 laps down.
Yep. And I'm willing to bet those 2 laps are due to the issues he did have early on, but good for him for showing up, getting some points for the team. Hopefully there's no lucky dog or wave around here at a road course, but hopefully through attrition he'll be able to pick up a couple more points for that team. Good for him showing up and finishing the event out despite the difficulties he had early on.
Yeah, and Ryan is a he's active duty in the United States Navy. He's part of the United States Navy's police force called the Master of Arms.
Yep.
And he races with Tyler Daniels Racing in probably 4 or 5 different leagues, and he is a very capable driver.
Yep, definitely a regular participant in the TDR Veterans and First Responders Only League, which is an event TDR is very proud to host. It's also broadcast here on Back Sports. That is Monday nights. We broadcast about 9:15ish with that league. Once they get out of practice and get to racing, y'all come out and support these heroes both at home and abroad. Tremendous action going on there. Tons of fun to watch. A lot of good guys. Lonnie actually runs in that league on occasion because you yourself are a veteran. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I am. I do.
Matthew Hughes in the grass here.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
I would imagine that those big wide tires are hard to get a grip on that green grass.
He actually was stuck. He got out of it, though. I was really surprised to be able to get back to the pits. That way he didn't have to tow. So he's probably going to save himself about 3 or 4 minutes from not having to tow.
Well, they're fortunate here. There's not a lot of sand traps either. I don't know if Lonnie is a golfer as much as he is a road course racer. But in golfing and in racing, the sand is bad news. So in season 1, they ran at Watkins Glen, which has a ton of gravel traps or sand traps off the side of the track. That's to slow the car down and protect the driver from hitting the wall. Well, it's also just a hole to get your car stuck in. And TDR brought a few more road racers than Nowski Nation did, and TDR absolutely spanked them at Watkins Glen because all the Nowski drivers kept getting stuck in the sand traps.
Wow.
Here, The grass is a little easier to get out of. You don't see them get stuck too much. The biggest concern here when you're getting back onto that track is high spotting your car when you're going over those rumble strips. So you want to make sure you enter the track grass to pavement. You don't want to cross over those rumble strips because these cars are just low enough they might lift those back tires off the ground and leave you stuck out there in the field.
Well, there's the rumble strips, and then there's the other thing, is that iRacing is such a great program, and it's so real that as these cars go through the pits, these big wide tires after running, I mean, we're down to 23 minutes left in the race now, so we've been running for a while. These tires are hot, these tires are sticky, and every little piece of sand or gravel or anything that's on the tarmac is going to be picked up by these tires. So once they get going, once they get there 3 or 4 seconds of fuel, then they're going to have to get going on tires that now have a bunch of trash on them. So it may take a couple of corners for them to work all that stuff off and be able to take full advantage of the traction of these tires.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's one of the nice things about the iRacing service is that people often refer to this as a game, and while it is a game, we're having fun playing it. It really is a simulator. If your tires are hot and sticky, they are more prone to picking up debris and becoming ruined temporarily because you did that, and you have to compensate for touching the grass because your tires have grass on them for 5 seconds. Like, there's so many elements of the tire model and just the physics of the game in itself that make it that much closer to realistic racing.
It's very true, and you know, in one, I think it was in the veterans race, I think it was this week or last week. I just got a new racing computer, and I have like this new video card that's like the Hey Lolly Mama of video cards now. And so, like, I didn't know that when you went into the pits that you could see the guys working on your car. They have a jack, they have a lug wrench, they're jacking your car up. You know, there's like a half a dozen people working on your stuff for you. But the thing that really got me is we were running modifieds at a track, and I cut a corner a little bit, and I could actually see the blades of grass on my left front tire. I was amazed.
Yeah, and I often blame iRacing for my poor performances because every time I go in the pits, they jack my car up.
Well, there's lots of choices. You know, there's a menu.
There is, but we won't bore the folks out there in YouTube land with the details. Oh,
there's
the
another
leader
off right there.
That's Chuck McDonald.
Rick Kohler and Chuck McDonald together, 2 teammates out there running for Team TDR. And Rick Kohler actually just launched a new paint company to make iRacing wraps. I forget the name. I believe it's Rocky Head Wraps. But he actually he did some of the TDR official paints that we have listed on Trading Paints. Does a really good job with those things. If you guys want to check them out, reach out to him because I probably have the name of the company wrong, but I think it's Rocky Head Wraps, if I'm not mistaken.
Is this a course-wide caution?
It'd be a local caution.
It'd be local caution.
Okay. I noticed that Chuck had given up on the asphalt and decided to go agricultural racing there for a few minutes.
Right. I like a good tractor pull.
Yeah, that's right.
Brian Shelton, still class of the field out here with a 11-second and gaining gap on P2.
I think somebody threw the caution. I think they are going to bunch him back up by the looks of it.
Maybe competition caution. It'd be nice to be involved.
They did. So actually, the pace car's out.
Yeah, there's less than 20 minutes left here in the race.
Yeah, my least favorite thing about broadcasting, I know this is your first time up in the booth and you know, watching a road course race that you're not familiar with, Lonnie, but race control, they don't like us up here. They will do things that we have to ponder and wonder on forever. So typically in road course racing, there are no full course cautions. You know, it's a local caution. Hey, there's a car in this corner, slow down. So they threw a full course caution. We have no idea why. We can speculate, but at the end of the day, no one knows but them. I'm going to assume it's a competition caution.
But they're not pitting, so I'm not quite sure what's... We'll have to find out when we do the interviews at the end of this thing on who threw the caution.
Oh, and just another quick note. Next time you're in the booth, Lonnie, You got to come to an oval race where they're not running 2 paint schemes. It's so much easier to tell these guys apart when you're not looking for that little number on the door.
Yeah, because pretty much everybody I know from, and like you race and Tony races too, is pretty much people stay with kind of the same paint scheme unless you're Chuck McDonald, who fancies himself a quite the painter. Is that all of the?
That's what I was noticing, guys. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but
Looks like
almost every Pudge car came into pit.
And they're on jack stands. That one is.
And,
So-
and that makes that yellow even more curious. Why was that yellow thrown? I mean, I don't want to speculate, but why was the yellow thrown? Why is all the Team Nowski in the pit?
Right, because I mean, none of it's.
Or pre-race, or did they decide to throw a competition yellow and Nowski decided to take advantage of it? And that's
I
what's
haven't
happening
heard.
here?
I mean, I haven't been privy to.
Well,
to
they're
all
gonna have to
the
catch up.
pre-race rules.
Yeah, because
No,
the
not
lights
yet.
are off on the pace car, so the ones that are coming out of the pits, they're going to be behind.
Everybody else, but they're going to have new tires, and there's still going to be what, probably 16 minutes, 15 minutes of racing left.
Yeah, very curious. I know tires aren't a huge deal here as far as how manageable the car is, but lap times now, everyone in the back might be getting an extra second a lap just based
And
on the
those-
fresh rubber.
The Pudge cars can't have caught up by now, can
No, I don't
And-
think they did, because let me see if I can go back
they? I
here.
mean, look at the gap here.
See, they're trying to catch up right now, so they're behind.
Well, and again, we can speculate all day about why that yellow was thrown. Regardless of, Nowski pitted, TDR didn't, and we'll see how this plays out with the remaining, under 20 minutes we have left to go here.
Well, strategically speaking, if the TDR guys, there's 15 cars on each team.
Yep.
So if the Pudge guys don't pass a whole bunch of cars really fast, I'm not sure that they're going to have enough points totaled up all together to overcome. I'm trying to make sense of what I'm seeing over here, and the data stuff is just so cool. I'm just like overwhelmed. It's like, and new things pop up. It's like this guy's off the track, and this guy's dropping behind. This guy's pulling ahead. and
See,
this guy got
Lonnie, you're giving away all our secrets. They just think that we know what we're
Yeah, man.
talking about.
Yeah, man, we gotta get you a protein bar, brother.
Okay, I'll be quiet. So right now, from what I'm seeing, it looks like there's only, now there's 13 cars on the lead lap. Is that right?
Yes.
That is correct as of right now.
So I focused on Blair for a minute here, guys, so you want to see. Blair is up 17 spots from the start of this race.
Yeah, looking really sporty. David Trumley, as I mentioned earlier, cool, calm, collected, up 11 despite the incident he had early on.
Charles Joplin in 5th place is up 11 points as well. 11
Yep,
points.
and he's a Team Nowski driver. So Patrick Gitter, Charles Joplin, and Kevin Bernheimer were 3 names I did not see in the pits under that yellow that was thrown for mysterious reasons.
I like the mysterious reasons. Keeps us in the secret. Oh, somebody just looped it around right there. Looked like Ryan Walter.
Oh no.
And we've got 3 cars in the pits right now. Andrew Schoner, Otto Cruz, and Matt Hughes. Mr. Nowski is in the pits right now.
Yeah, so Mr. TDR and Mr. Nowski are in the pits. Maybe they went for an ice cream.
That's what I was just going to say.
Let's check
Somebody's
in
got
on 'em.
ice cream in there.
Anybody see him in the crowd? They just trying to sneak in there and get an ice cream? There's Andrew. There's Matt. Anybody see him in the pits there? I don't know if he's in the car. Don't look like he's in the car.
We see Jeremy Edwards and Jeffrey McConey, they were both headed off track, and now they're both in the pits. I imagine they were involved in an incident a little earlier on there, maybe about 30 seconds ago or so. They had that happen, and they're getting their respective toes and losing a ton of time.
It goes right back to the beginning of the race when we talked about it, though. You just got to hit your own marks. Try to keep your car to the best you can drive it, and if you try to overdrive it, it's going to get in trouble. And if you can keep it underneath you, you'll have a great finish, because less time you stay off the grass, off the walls, you'll be a whole lot better off.
Yeah, like we've got a couple unfortunate drivers way in the back that have lost a ton of positions, but you look at even some of these guys a lap down. Ryan Walter a lap down. He's actually gained 7 positions. You got Jeffrey Sheldon on Nowski. He's a lap down and gained 10 positions. Those are valuable points in this team versus team event.
Because the way that they do this, if I'm not mistaken, is every position, I mean, there's 29 or 30 cars. Each team has 15 cars the way it's supposed to be set up.
Correct.
And so every position, first through 30th, you get so many points per position, and then they add those up, divide them into the teams.
Sorry about that. I was just focusing on who was in the... That was Mr. Schoner. I'm not sure what happened. He was in the pits, he took off, and then hit the inside pit wall and had to pit again.
That's life.
I know earlier tonight in another race, he lost a tire. And so there's just no telling what happened.
Oh, Lonnie.
Yes.
I don't want to ruin the back end for the viewers out there in YouTube land, but as the cameraman focuses on the driver, the reason a whole bunch of them go red is it's showing the gaps. So when they focus on a driver 10 laps down, everyone is gapped way ahead of them by multiple laps. That's what's been tripping us up here in the booth.
Oh, so like when I come down here to Chuck McDonald. See what it does
yes,
right there?
when you go to Chuck McDonald, it looks like everyone's a bunch of laps down if you're looking at the gap category.
Oh,
that's what was messing us up, yeah, because we're not looking at the... Anyway.
Well, thank you for that.
Right, didn't mean to bore you guys out there on YouTube land, but it's a complicated job up here in the booth.
It really is not. And let me say this about that, if I may, is that I spent today, because, I mean, this is a slow time of year for what I do. And so I spent a lot of time going back and watching other videos at back charities. And for those of you that are watching, if you go to YouTube and you do a search on back charities, BACC charities, then you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can watch every race that's out there.
Quick correction.
So
it's back sports on YouTube.
There we go. It's my first day. Thank you very much.
It's all good. It's all good. If you go unplug it, I'm gonna make sure it's right. I'm the VP of marketing.
Thank you very much. I stand corrected. I appreciate that, man. I'm good with it. But if you go to YouTube, put in back sports, and it'll come up, and you can watch every race that's been in there, and it's some really exciting stuff. And I know that we're breaking into new territory now, because with Tony being up there with the new software, with being able to do all the things that he does, and then couple that with Tommy, with your experience and your knowledge about being able to look at this, do this, check that, see that. It's just amazing. I have as much fun watching the back charities races as I do watching like Larry Mack and the boys on Fox TV. It's great. Y'all do such a great job.
I enjoy it too. Personally, I don't like listening back to races I broadcast, and I am broadcasting a lot of them. But like, I love looking back at the ones I'm in, obviously, because every race car driver wants to be up front and be recognized. We're all narcissists on the track, right?
Everybody wants to hear their name.
But even listening to like when Tony and Jay are in the booth, or when Andy and Tony are in the booth, like those are my favorite, because one, I don't have to hear myself be myself, because nobody likes themselves being themselves.
I really do.
Right. You're gonna listen back to this and be like, "Oh my God, I'm terrible." But everyone else is gonna love it, because they know you, they know me, they know Andy, they know Tony. They love watching their personalities cover races with a bunch of drivers they know. It's all about supporting the guys you love and watching them race, and it really is a ton of fun, regardless of how good we've done that particular track. It's not about how good it is; it's about how good that racing is, and the racing is always good.
And speaking of good races, Tommy, look at this. We're almost down to 9 minutes left. Which what did I miss?
No, I was agreeing with you. I'm watching the leaderboard as you speak.
There's 9 minutes left coming up on the races now. Do you think we're going to see people starting to get like a little bit more aggressive? Do you think they've got enough tire left? I mean, we know they've got fuel, because pretty much everybody's been into the pits, right?
Yeah, I think everyone's good to go as far as pit strategy, and I think it's tough to say with 9 minutes to go. You want to get some more positions, but again, going to road course racing, you're very much racing the track. You don't want to overdrive it because one little touch on that grass, as you alluded to earlier with the tire model, you get a couple blades of grass on that tire and it don't turn so well for a couple corners.
Oh, look
And
at that move. Dive to the inside.
Ooh.
Oof.
Coming into Big Bend, and we might even see a pass here through the left and right-handers. A couple teammates back there. Look like they're going to respect each other and kind of play nice.
Jeremy
This is a
Gaiman right
wise
there is who
move.
we're watching. He just lost 2 positions right there through that exchange, and he's got somebody hot on the back bumper right underneath that spoiler.
Yeah, it's real quick. Timing's still tight up front there. He's got about half a second to Andrew Bisnep, teammate behind him. Jeremy Gaiman on the march, 8 positions up. My boy, David Tremblay, Cool Hand Luke up there, 13 spots, just entered the top 10. And look at
that.
Blair Patterson sitting P7, 14 spots up. Charles Joplin for Team Nowski up 11 spots to P5. Adam Rickey now sitting P2, up 6. Kevin Bermheimer sitting in P4, up 6 spots. Patrick Gitter back to 3rd now. These gentlemen up front.
There's been a lot of movement, you know, over the last 43, 38 minutes.
Yeah, there's a lot of gap up there in the top 10. I don't expect to see a lot of passing up there outside of incidents, but these guys have fought back very hard for those positions.
That's right. 7 minutes left to go in this race. There's an off right there.
That was Andy, I believe.
As we see Dean Webb and Jeremy Edwards now in the pits.
Oh, looks like Andy's off deep in the grass. Oh, he's getting towed. Andy Schoner is like the godfather of Tyler Daniels Racing and back charities.
So I hate to be the aficionado of last names, but it's actually pronounced Shaner.
I'm just gonna quit.
Oh no, don't, Lonnie, don't quit, man. You're making my job a lot easier. I haven't had to say a whole lot tonight. You're doing awesome.
Right.
You probably muted your microphone and you're laughing at me, Tony.
No, I've run cameras, and honestly, having you up in the booth, Lonnie, even though it's your first time and you're not as experienced as myself or Tony up here, running cameras is a job all in itself. Having to run cameras and try to talk about what you're doing at the same time is quite difficult, and we are giving Tony a little bit of a break here.
Exactly. So, Tommy, I think what we got to do is I'm going to give you a cockpit of Ryan Shelton here as soon as he comes down the front stretch, and you can do a lap with him.
He's our leader.
Yeah, Ryan Shelton's leader, so we're going to follow him around here. Coming up to the start-finish line, I'm going to pull up my track map because I like to say the corner names because I think that makes me sound sophisticated. Coming into Big Bend, turn 1 here. And there's actually 2 turns in that first turn, so you kind of fade out, fade back in as you come into the first left-hander here. This is a 3rd gear or 2nd gear turn, depending on how good you are. The right-hander should be a 3rd gear turn, turning a bunch of speed into the slight crook up through No Name Straight. And when they come around the corner here in turn 5 on the uphill, let's see if he gets some air.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
A little bit of air. I didn't see the RPMs blip, which means he's managing that throttle over that bump. Try not to overspin.
If you're in the air, you're not getting traction. You're not getting traction. You're not going fast.
Exactly. You can overdrive how much up air you get. As he comes around the downhill now, last corner into the straightaway, you want to be in 5th gear. Looks like he was right around 147 there, so tire fall off probably a factor. Wasn't as fast as we could be, but again, he's hitting his marks. He's running his race, and I can't argue with what he's doing because he is sitting P1 with a good 5-second gap to Adam Rickey behind. And that gap, before we started talking about Ryan Shelton, was about 10 seconds.
Wow.
So Adam Rickey is on the march looking for his teammate up there. Hopefully they play nice, but if you know Adam Rickey, he wants to win. He'll respect you as a driver on the racetrack, but if he sees an opportunity, I think even from a teammate, Adam might try to take it when he gets there.
Well, Adam Rickey driving the number 9 isn't Adam? He runs in a lot of TDR leagues as well, and if I'm not mistaken, he is very well versed in how to make the iRacing cars do what people need them to do, and he is very
got a little bit of action up ahead of him. This might make
Ooh,
Oh, looks like they got off track just ahead of Adam getting there. That could have
Kenny
been
Hyde
bad
Jr.
news.
in the 58.
So speaking of
Yeah,
Adam,
But
where you're
Adam
talking,
Rickey,
Go
Adam
ahead.
Rickey's very willing to share what he knows with the other drivers because, I mean, he wants you to be able to go fast so he can race you. He wants to beat you not with a car, but with your skill, you know, because
Well,
he's good.
speaking of Adam Rickey, and I think Tony was going to allude to this. Is Adam Rickey is the owner of Banff Racing. Earlier in 2021, they took on a couple drivers who improved dramatically. One of them was nominated, or two of them were nominated for Most Improved Driver of the Year. One of them won it. Adam Rickey did win TDR Driver of the Year, and he actually has a super secret private racing group on Facebook for Banff Racing where he's got about 30, 40 members in there, and he's sharing videos of what he does day in, day out when he's running iRacing to help improve other drivers and make the competition that much tighter.
Yeah,
Man,
he
I
gives a lot
wonder
of lessons to everybody.
how much does it cost to join that super top secret little clan there?
It doesn't cost anything. What does it matter being a member of TDR? If you're
Yep.
a member of
No,
TDR,
really?
you're invited into it.
knowing
how
how
do
to
we
get
join
there.
TDR?
Tyler Daniels Racing on Facebook, TylerDRacing.com. Between those two, most people can figure it out. If you can't figure
Awesome.
it out, reach out to me. I'll help you get in there.
Now, the other thing I don't know if you guys have noticed here, but I'm pretty sure that's Kevin Mccann that's riding right behind him.
Yep.
Check sure that's Kevin. So you got Adam and Kevin running, and they have a grudge match coming up here in another week and a half, 2 weeks. Between the two of them, they're gonna pick their teams, and I know they've been talking about. Adam said that Kevin had to get on an elevator to get to his status, and there's a little.
Oh, no.
There's a lot of
You
stuff
didn't-
going on.
You didn't watch the award ceremony.
Yes, I did.
Well, it wasn't one of them that said it. It was whichever celebrity was hired to give the award.
Oh, right. But I mean, yes. I'm sorry.
1 minute and 30 seconds left in the race.
I think it was Rutledge Wood. Rutledge Wood told Mccann to get on an elevator. I can't recall who said that. It might have been Kenny
It
Wallace.
was Rutledge. It was Rutledge.
Yeah, I feel like it was Rutledge Wood. Only Rutledge Wood would put Kevin McCann or Adam Rickey's foot in Kevin McCann's mouth.
Oh, absolutely. Because then we had.
Is this the last lap? What we're seeing right now?
Yeah, I believe so.
could be.
It's a minute to go. They're gonna get one more in, and then they'll be timed out about halfway
Ooh,
through
look
the last lap
Look,
here.
what a move right there.
Yeah, getting a little
Y'all got
racy.
Best seat in the house right here.
I've been saying it day in, day out. This is the best job in our racing, buddy. You get to sit up here, watch a race, and talk with your friends about it.
Look at that. Our top five as they run. In fifth place is the 8 of Charles Joplin, the number 29 of Kevin Bernheimer, the number 12 Patrick Gitter, number 9 of Adam Rickey, and 99 Ryan Shelton, your leader.
Yeah, heck of a recovery from Patrick Gitter. We saw him sort of back, I think, as far as 15th place and he started P2 after that incident early on. Shout out to Charles Joplin, up 11 spots in P5. Blair Patterson up 14 spots in P7. Trumbley now also up 14 spots in P9. A lot of these guys made big moves to get there. Jeffrey Sheldon, way back in 18th, he's up 12 spots from where he started. Ryan Walter up 10 spots from where he started. Tons of points for their teams. As far back as they are, it's not about where you finish. It's about what you did for your team in this kind of environment.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how the points all stack up at the end of it.
And Ryan
I don't
is our
see
winner.
a checker flag, but
Yeah,
I
it
see
came out. Yep.
I see 0.
Yep, checker flag just dropped. Our winner is Ryan Shelton, followed by Adam Rickey, who surprisingly he was gaining on Shelton for a while, just couldn't make it happen. Patrick Gitter rounding out P3, excellent finish for him after that incident, excellent recovery. Can't say enough about Patrick Gitter getting back up there. That was an incredible performance by that guy finishing P3. Kevin Bernheimer and Charles Joplin rounding out the top 5. Patrick Piper, P6. Blair Patterson up a ton of spots in P7. Timothy Pope, David Trumbley, Lonnie Roberts rounding out the top 10. Who wants to take 11 through 20?
I'll take it. 11th was Justin Swafford. 12th is Andrew Bisnett. 13th is Jeremy Gaiman. 14th was Kevin after a couple little mishaps, but he worked his way back up there. 15th.
Surprising to see Kevin that far back.
Yeah, I just had a couple off-track incidents is all.
Rough night.
Yep, and then you got 15th was Kenny Hyde. 16th was PJ Cox. 17th was Jim Downham. 18th was Jeffrey Sheldon. 19th was Ryan Walter, which had to get issues to getting hooked up in the beginning. 20th was Rick Kohler. 21st was Chuck McDonald. 22nd was Brian DeYoung. 23rd is Jay Downham. 24th, Dean Webb. These are all the ones that had a couple issues most of the night. Dean was in quite a few accidents. 25th was Jeremy Edwards. 26th was Jeffrey McConey. 27th was Matt Pudge Hughes. He was in 27th. So you know he had quite a few issues. Dustin, I see he was off track quite a bit. He was 28th. Otto, another one. Some of these drivers are usually right up top, having a rough night tonight.
Two names that stick out to me are the local iRacing celebrities, right? You got Jeffrey McConey from McConey Setup Shop and Matthew Hughes from Nowski Nation. Two guys that run really well all the time, and just caught up in some incidents. This is a patience track, and those are two drivers that really go out there and get it. And I think going out there and getting it got the best of them tonight.
I believe so too.
But it's not about
right
who's
now,
in the back.
Ryan Shelton.
Exactly.
He's out there celebrating.
It's about celebrating who won. I'm not good at math, and we actually have a whole team of accountants that'll add this up for us at some point. But I think
they're back at the home office in Sioux City, Iowa.
Right now, as Ryan Shelton burns it down, I think we should get into some driver interviews. And if you guys are okay with it, I would like to pull in Patrick Gitter, just because he had that trouble early on and fought all the way back up there to third place. And I think he deserves a little bit of recognition outside of that P1 finish there by Shelton.
Let's drag him in and let's have a chat with him.
Hey, Patrick, this is Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on us, buddy?
Yeah, Tommy, I got you.
So you had a little trouble early on. You still eked a podium out of it. I think you were as far back as 12th at one point. How did you do it, man? I think you were one of the cars to beat out there for sure. What's it like running this kind of track with a bunch of oval racers? Obviously, you have some chops on some road courses.
Yeah, you know, it's really all about track awareness at this kind of track. You know, our guys were practicing this week, and I've raced a decent bit at this track before. It's a tight track. I mean, there's not a lot of room to navigate, and you know, again, it's just all about awareness. You know, there's a few times where you know, I got caught up. I know Ryan and I were kind of battling there for a while. Got stuck behind a lap car, lost the lead, and then you know, it was like that caution came out. It was kind of weird, but you know, got hit twice under caution. Lost some speed from that, and I don't know what happened at the end. I thought I had something for Richie there at the end if I didn't have that damage from, you know, getting hit under caution. But you know, it's just about communication, team communication, watching out for cars spinning around, and again, just kind of leaving that room to navigate. And, you know, just a challenging track to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, heck of a performance overall. I'm glad you made it home with the podium, because when I saw you have the incident earlier on that started you way back, I was like, oh no, man, Patrick Gitter was putting out some awesome times. You had some great racing up front there with Ryan, so obviously you have some chops on some road courses. And you mentioned that caution. Do you have any insight? Because up here in the booth, we have no idea what race control has going on.
Yeah, I think it was just an accidental caution that was thrown out. Honestly, we were talking about it. We were like, what happened there? And I think it was you know, somebody pushed a button by accident or something. So it wasn't intentional by any means. I think it was just an accident. But I will say, I think it kind of shook some things up. People were kind of making some decisions, but in the end, I think, you know, there was still some. It definitely made up for an interesting finish there at the end. You know, once the green flag came back out.
Yeah, our theory was competition caution or something, but an accidental caution makes just as much sense, because all we can do is speculate up here in the booth, right?
Absolutely, totally understand that.
Yeah.
Hey Patrick, this is Lonnie up here, and man, it was so much fun to watch you out there on the track and wheel your car. And my question is that I noticed that there was a bunch of cars all pitted under that caution, and they all seemed to kind of have the same paint job. So was tires that big of a deal? I mean, was the plan to, if we pit, we're all pitting together?
You know, I think it was some of the guys that were towards the back of the pack, kind of having that oval mindset. You know, if the guys are in the rear end of the pack, tires definitely seem a little more appealing in that aspect.
Right.
So I think that was the reason behind that. The challenging thing with these road courses is these GT3 cars, they take a ton of time to change tires. I mean, I think a pit stop is almost a minute. So it really then it's a calculation of how much time is in the race and how much time do I think I'm going to make up on fresh tires. So that's kind of what it came down to.
Wow. Well, thank you for that, man. It was sure fun, sure a lot of fun to watch you out there. Some of the moves you made, some of the defensive driving that you engaged to stay up there, up at the front.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Appreciate all you guys do, and just thanks again for broadcasting for us and making this happen.
It's our pleasure, man. The credit belongs to you because, as Adam Ricky always says, if you can't win the show, be the show, and you certainly were a part of that tonight. So we appreciate the show you put on, man. It was really entertaining.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
All right, I'm gonna get Patrick sorted back and see if we can get our winner Ryan Shelton up in the booth. Give me 1 second to get his super secret CB radio dialed up here.
He's sometimes tough to get a hold of, so we already know what that is.
I know he's in high demand. He's one of the guys. I'm sure TDR knows that he takes some of the best screenshots you've ever seen. But tonight he was actually the race winner. Ryan, this is Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on Tony and Lonnie and myself?
Got you loud and clear.
Well, congratulations, Ryan. This is Tony talking. Watching you race tonight, you're just so smooth on the throttle. Even watching like coming over the bump where you get airborne, you weren't redlining like a lot of guys were. You could watch your throttle come off. You could watch it come back on. And I think that's what helped you stay right up front tonight is you hit your marks and just raced your race. How did it feel to you?
Yeah, I mean, it felt a little bit slicker than what we've been practicing all week between the different practice sessions that we were all running. And so coming into it, I was a little scared, especially during practice. I wasn't as fast as I thought I would be, and then got qualifying and got to put down a pretty solid lap. And I was like, okay, if I can just stay out front, I'll be fine. And then I lost the lead before we even got to the green flag. And I was like, crap, this track is hard to pass on, and it's just going to be traffic everywhere because you can run up on somebody really, really quickly because how quick the lap times are. So it's just, and we just got lucky with some of the lap traffic, and then that yellow came out, and I had a 14-second lead and I lost it, and I was like, oh, here we go again. Like, what's going to happen now? But luckily,
Yeah, that caution we were always going. The caution itself, we're like up here in the booth. There's Tommy, Lonnie, myself, and we're going. We're not supposed to usually have full course cautions in road racing, and also we have full course caution. I'm like, that's kind of strange.
Yeah, it was very random. We were trying to figure out what happened, but we just, as a group, we just hunkered down and we made the decision to all stay out on track. I heard a couple of them did come into pits.
A couple.
Most all of them.
Yeah. Most all of them.
Yeah. So yeah, we made. They were all asking, should we pit? And I was just like, no. Like tires are worth something, but the track position is worth way more here, especially with how hard it is to pass. So I was like, just keep track position. Just try to gain as much as we can, and it seemed to help out a little bit, but it is what it is.
Well, you had a great run, and I'm gonna let one of the other guys talk to you, but I just want to congratulate you on your win, and glad to see you right up front tonight.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely. And the only question I have for you, so we interviewed Patrick Gitter before you. We actually haven't talked to P2 Adam Ricky yet. You and Patrick were running there pretty tight. What's it like running Patrick Gitter? Because he's a guy that brings a lot of speed. I'm sure it was very challenging running him through these lefts and rights. You guys run a lot of oval racing together. What was it like running him on a road course who is also very talented on those right-hand corners?
Yeah, it was he was challenging. I knew as soon as he got past me that it was gonna be very hard to pass him. I think the only way I was gonna pass him is either try to get a good run into turn one, which was really hard because during the last two corners he was really, really fast. So it made it really hard for me to get a good run into one. I was like, okay, well he's really fast there. Like, how can I get a pass on him? And I found a hole, and we got up to lap traffic, and he kind of slowed down a little bit for one of the guys, and I got around the outside of him, the inside of him going into the left-hander, and I just got around him there, and I was like, all right, I got to focus and not look back, and I think he had something happen to him, and I was I was like, okay, now I can just kind of run laps.
Yeah, from what we saw up here in the booth, he actually got sorted back to, I believe, P12 after that incident, and fought his way all the way back to third. Was chasing Adam and gaining, I think, only a less than a 2-second deficit in the interval between him and Adam.
Yeah.
So an extra 15 minutes, you might have had to fight him again. But congratulations on the victory. We actually have Lonnie up in the booth for the first time tonight. You got any questions for our race winner tonight, Lonnie?
Well, thank you, Tommy. And I don't really have any questions for Ryan, but what I'd like to say, Ryan, is that, man, you just absolutely put on a clinic tonight. I mean, you did everything right that you needed to do when you needed to do it. And I know in Tyler Daniels Racing, if anyone needs any help with anything, you're one of the first ones to step up and say,
Absolutely.
this is how you do that. And you know how I know that? Because I'm one of the ones that you've helped. It doesn't make me any faster, but you gave me some good information, and I thank you for that. And I know that you feel good with this victory, and congratulations.
Hey, man.
Thanks, man.
Don't make his head too big. He won't fit through the doorway to the tech pad.
Awesome.
Well, Ryan, again, congratulations on the victory from Tony, Lonnie, and me up here in the booth, man. You earned it. Lonnie said it. You put on an absolute clinic. 6-second gap back to second. Great job out there. We're going to get you back with your teammates, and we're going to see if there's anybody else out there we need to talk to.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I should have said our pleasure.
Yeah. Is Blair available or
I'll say that, but
or Trumbull? Because they've moved up.
I mean, you guys don't want to talk to me?
Oh, I didn't know Andy was in here.
well, there's the boss man his own self.
Oh, Andy's here.
I think
Yes,
I
sir.
think he popped in. I think he wanted to be on.
So,
going on?
well,
What's going on,
I always
Andy?
like to announce the points, right? So, what is Matthew available?
Oh, if I can get him, yeah. We had no clue what the points were. There are no Pujanowski drivers available.
Oh,
Not
man.
a one. Not a one. I've got almost every TDR driver in the still, or in their team chat.
Okay, well,
Do you have the points though? We'd love to hear
yeah.
the points.
So, Nowski Nation did win. 512, 493.
It was a close race
Yeah.
then.
Pretty good win for them.
Yeah. Yeah, we minimized the damage, which I really kind of going into this race didn't think we were didn't have high expectations for this race.
Yeah,
so
TDR
we-
is mostly oval guys.
we minimized the damage, I think, and we'll be going into Chicagoland. One thing I think you guys ought to do, and this is just purely out of speculation on my part,
Mm-hmm.
but I think you need to bring Jim Downham into the booth and just say baloney.
All right.
Will that be a
Can
good
I
time?
hang on? I got one quick question for Andy before we do that though,
I'd like to
because
ask
I
him
know there's only
something.
certain ones that are admins in this race. So who inadvertently threw the caution?
But
Okay, that's what we were wondering.
Again? Wait, I won't say that.
We were just wondering because up here in the booth, we're like, that's a full course caution. We're like, we're not supposed to have that here today, but we do. So we ran with it, but it was just one of those we
Up
didn't
here
know.
in the booth, we speculated, and I positioned it as a potentially competition caution, and then the other drivers kind of positioned it as a mistake. And
there is a phantom caution. It's kind of the second race in a row, so I'm a little confused, but we'll leave it at that.
we'll let the team captains fight that over. I'm gonna go ahead.
Nah, there's no fight. I don't worry about it.
Well,
Move
I'm
on to
gonna-
the race, we move
I'm
on.
gonna try to
So,
get
Andy,
Jim up in the booth here real quick, and all I want to say to Jim is baloney.
No. My baloney has a first name. It's LSDAR. My baloney has a second name. It's MYER. And you ask me why I say Oscar Mayer has a way with BOLGNA. Happy birthday, Sister Silky. Happy birthday, girl. I love you to the bottom of my heart. Boom.
look
So
at you,
awesome.
Jimmy.
Did you lose a bet, Jim?
Well, I don't know how it got started. I really don't. All of a sudden,
It's all about pipes.
I loved Oscar Mayer. I loved that commercial years ago. I'm not showing my age, but somehow we started singing it in the TDR group. And now all of a sudden, when the magic word appears, I have to sing it. I wasn't
That's
even
the rule.
punished. I didn't do anything wrong, but I'm doing the best I can. Yeah, what I
You're
mean,
not punished. You're entertaining. That's what
I
it
you
is.
know what? This is from my sister. She is 1 year, 10 days older than I am, and today is her birthday. And
Well,
shout out
happy
to
birthday.
Sister Sukkah for a happy birthday. In fact,
Happy
she might even
birthday,
have a
Sister
TDR
Sukkah.
coming her way. compliments of forever.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
I think she should. I know you wrecked
Absolutely.
Andy enough to pay for it.
Well, yeah, I think I have an excessive
This
amount of
isn't the
credit in
photo.
my account right now, so I think we can handle that. I can't
All
tell
right.
Paul that, but no,
Right.
really.
Well, Jim, Andy, excellent performance out there despite the mysterious caution.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to get a couple more interviews
Okay,
in here.
go. Love you guys. Thank
Love
you.
you too,
Jimmy.
Jim.
Good
Thanks,
job,
Jim.
buddy.
Andy, you're welcome to hang out and talk to your teammate as we bring him in here. Who do you guys want up here next? Who do you want to talk to?
I was gonna see if Blair's available or David Trumbley, because they were our two biggest movers.
Neither one of them. I wish we did
Of
have them because they
course.
were the two biggest movers. I can get Adam Ricky P2.
That would be awesome.
All right, let me see if I can get Adam dialed up. Hey, Adam, it's Tommy up in the booth. You got to read on me there, podium finisher? Andy, you're welcome to hang out and talk to your teammate. Sounds like Adam's listening to us. Listen to him.
Yeah, I'm good now.
There we go. I was like, any second you'll realize we're saying his name. So P2, not a bad spot, right? Everybody wants to be on a podium. What's it like trying to make up that deficit from the absolute clinic Shelton had put on all night?
Oh, I wasn't even trying. I was just trying to stay between the grass lines and calling that a success.
Were you getting a little nervous? Because I noticed Shelton was gaining about maybe half a second a lap going into those last 10 minutes or so.
No, not at all. You mean I knew he was going to be faster, so I wasn't trying to race him there. I was more concerned about Gitter behind me. But then I also had like Kevin just being like a good wingman, hanging out behind me, not trying to pass me. So I even knew if Gitter did actually catch up to me, he'd have a hell of a time trying to get around Mccann.
Oh, hey, that's the team element, isn't it? Right? Like, it doesn't matter where you finish, despite, like, I mean, you know as well as I know, and everyone here knows. You know, the Ricky name, the Mccann name. You guys are all fast guys, but it's not about where you finish; it's about how your team does.
Yeah, absolutely. And, there was a little bit of communication from him to me, and, we did what we could do. And I think he actually gained a couple extra positions just running up front with us and staying out of some of the messes.
Yeah, we saw a couple guys, a couple big gainers out there. Blair Patterson, David Trumbley, they were up about 14 spots apiece just playing cool hand Luke out there, cool, calm, collected, and gaining their spots, position through attrition, as you always preach. I did want to bring you in the booth. We mentioned you early on about how you're a giving character and like to teach and increase the competition level. Do you want the opportunity to plug your little Banff racing thing you got going on here?
Sure, happy to do so. Got a little online Facebook group. It's the Banff, I don't know what I call it, Racecraft Academy. I can't even remember at this point. Anyways, I post things to kind of help some of the TDR drivers out a little bit, especially for the Friday Night Lights Street Stock Series. It's a great little division to learn and develop and pick up new skills in just because of the way the cars drive. And we're getting a few more people every single week, and I'm putting up videos, different things. And then once we get past the holiday here next weekend, I'll start hosting some sessions and doing some more one-on-one or one on whatever group live sessions.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick shout out. So I'm in that group and I'm seeing what's in there. I wish I had more time to hone my racecraft. I truly don't. But I watched a video where you talked about using the geometry of the car and lifting to like about half throttle through a corner before you get back on it, as opposed to tapping the brake. I completely attribute my second and third place run in that 87s race on Thursday to that video alone. Like, I did phenomenally in that race until, I took myself out. But because of that video, I was running so much better than I typically do.